I had only one resolution in 2020. It was to earn my first paycheck. It happened in May and it was about 11,000 rupees. I think it happened because I started to realize the power of the internet. And while we are here taking even the connectivity for granted, we have no clue about the amount of wealth that flows through this medium. And I think that's a big reason why most of us are not financially independent yet. And I think, yeah, I'm one of them. I've spent thousands of dollars, practically everything I made in my first year of freelancing, and even more because I had to ask my dad for money to invest in courses, to explore my fair share of avenues. And I'm here to give that to you. And this won't be about one of those websites that uploaded free courses that you probably will never watch. You probably will never make anything out of it. It's real and it's not to give you that hit of dopamine, and that's why I wanted to make this a longer video than usual. Now let's be honest, if you have zero commitment in anything, you probably will never take action, and that commitment comes in form of investments in yourself or accountability, right? And my aim here is to create this community of people who actually take action, because we severely lack people in that department in, like, not just in our country but everywhere. And these are people who take what's useful, explore as much as they can, experiment, fail, get some success, try again, experiment, fail, repeat that process until they make something out of themselves. And I want you to be one of them. So let's look at 3 uncommon ways to make money. And I have made money through all 3 mediums, directly or indirectly, and I'll explain more about that. And before the woke keyboard warriors come in and type in the comments that, hey, most of the people know about this, just fuck off. This is for people who don't know about it and actually want to do something. So piss off. No, I did not own any theme page of my own, but I was the head of content at the biggest Instagram shoutouts agency in the world, and I have worked with pages with over tens of millions of followers and hundreds of those pages. Now there's a ridiculous amount of money to be made with these pages, and these theme page ideas were floating around 6-7 years ago as well, and I thought that they were a thing of the past, but they are booming now, and they're booming more than ever. Now to select a theme for your Instagram theme page, you have to pick one pillar out of the essential 4: health, wealth, relationships, and happiness. And it can be like sports, workout / gym, business tips, side hustles, motivation, those relationship pages, and you just pick one out of those. Now your job in its entirety is to give people a short hit of dopamine while accumulating followers and increasing those numbers. And while you do that for your own theme page, because you're not showing your face, you should not have any fear of posting. And in this process, you will actually work on your skills of like market research, designing, editing, etc. Whatever's needed basically. Now, next step is to post consistently. But before that, you would have a question that how would you actually start posting? Because before posting, you actually need to have ideas, right? In a nutshell, what you do is you pick any page. So let's say if it's a business page, I'll show you some examples. You go to these pages, you find the suggested pages as well, and you look at the average engagement. So let's say if the average engagement is 10,000 likes, what you do is you browse through all of their posts, hundreds and thousands of posts, and you look at the posts which have a higher engagement than the average, right? And you create a database out of it. Now, the only thing to remember is these posts must be within your niche. Now, what you do is once you have that database, because you can easily create a bunch of like 50 to 100 posts in about 30 minutes to an hour, right? So you take those posts, you take the idea. Now, one thing to keep in mind is probably 99% of content on Instagram, it's all copied and it's not copyrighted, right? So because people usually do not know the source of some kind of information usually. So what you do is, because these theme pages maximize the use of non-copyrighted content, you take inspiration from it, or you take those content pieces as it is, or you take that content piece and post it, or you take that and you modify it, add some things, remove some things, and post graphic posts, reels, videos like snippets from movies, etc. I've seen a lot of theme pages do that as well. And you create an entire schedule based on what's actually working for other people, because that basically increases your odds to keep people hooked to your content, and that's how kind of you start to understand the market of Instagram. Now, next step is to get your friends and family to get you to a few hundred followers, and from there, by month 3 to month 6, you should have a decent amount of followers and you should understand the game properly. And from there, it's all about making that content better and in higher volume than your competitors. And once you have a good amount of followers, let's say 25 to 100k, that's when you can actually start monetizing your page. And it can be done in two ways. Second one is the extreme case, and first one is the most usual one. First one is you actually sell promotions. Like how you see personal brands do brand collabs. These people, they continuously contact these theme pages which align with the audience of the creator that they want to promote. Now what you do is based on the audience demographic that you have, the age and the category, you can start charging per post, right? And this amount can vary from, I would say, about $5 to $100 usually. And some of the best pages, they use $250 to upwards of $1,000 to $1,500 as well. And once these agencies or creators come to you, you sell packages of these posts, right? So let's say if you sell 30 posts for $50 and you promise to post that in a span of, let's say, a month, you essentially made $1,500, and all you have to do is you just post the content that they post. And usually the best part about it is these promotions are only up for one day, and if it's up for more days, then you can actually charge more. And the better part about this is that you not just work with one creator or one agency, you can work with tens or even 20, 30, 50 creators at once, and you can create a team to create that content for you, and you just handle the sales, you sell those packages, and you just see money rack up. And I'll give you an example, right? Millionaire Mentor, this page makes about, I would say, from my estimation, about $200,000 to $500,000 a month just selling promotions. So you can see the upper levels of this game. Now I'll tell you the reality, right? Most of the foreign business owners, they like to hire remote workers in countries like India, Indonesia, Thailand, Pakistan, etc. because these people have a good grasp of English and they have a hell of a lot more work ethic than the business owners would find locally. Now if you compare economies, let's say a MACD worker in America makes about $1,700 to $1,800 or $2,000 a month. But if you make that amount of money in India, you see how good of a life you can live, right? Now, essentially, DM closing / appointment closing is you being in a sales team of an online business owner who is selling some kind of a digital product or mastermind, mentorship, course, coaching, anything, right? And they have social media as a big lead generation method and source of booking appointments. Now, one thing to remember is they hire appointment setters and DM closers because they do not want to be present in the process that much because it takes a lot of time. And with this, they can actually scale with volume. So let's say if it's a $350 course being sold through Instagram DMs, the business owner would not talk to 10,000 people who potentially would buy that course, but he would have someone on a commission basis and that person would close the deal and it's good money for him as well. Okay, so now how do you actually become a DM closer, right? Before that, you have to kind of understand the system of DMs. Now by DMs, I mean direct messages. If इतना दिमाग भी नहीं है क्या यार तुम में. Basically, DMs are inbound and outbound. Outbound is when the person that you are sending a message to is not actually aware of your product or your solution to their problem. And inbound is when you have some kind of content piece or some kind of lead generation method in place where people are actually coming in, and the first part, like the top of the funnel part in the sales process, is getting in the DMs, right? Now, in both of these, your job as the appointment setter is to qualify them, see if they align with their interests, see if they have the budget to actually take on the course or the mentorship, and you set an appointment. And if the business owner is able to close the deal, then you get a commission out of it, which is usually, I would say, about 5 to 10%. But if you're a DM closer, you actually close the deals in the DM itself. Now, there's actually two aspects to it as well. On the internet, the products that are usually sold are either low ticket or high ticket. Now, low ticket is a ballpark number which can go from like $200, like $0 to $500 essentially, and high ticket goes above $1,000 to $2,000 depending on the niche, right? Now, within these two aspects, it is actually decided by the business owner whether they want to actually close these deals on appointment, because a person would simply not just invest $2,000 or $5,000 in the DMs. Instead, they would like to actually talk to the business owner, get the details, and see if it's actually a fit. So usually, DM closing is done for lower ticket products, which can be on the higher end, be about $500 to $1,000, and they charge anywhere from like 10 to 20% commission on it. And if they're able to sell in volume, then you can do those numbers in your head. Now, to learn, you actually need to have knowledge about sales, and the first step is to utilize all the free methods, which is go on YouTube and type remote sales, and you will find countless tutorials there. Now, next one is kind of getting deeper into the understanding of sales, and a good starting point can be reading books like Straight Line Persuasion, Getting to Yes, Never Split the Difference. And once you actually know about those systems, then you would know which resource to get to next. You would say that you can learn about sales, but you have no idea about the end-to-end process. That's the good part actually, because these business owners, they usually teach the appointment setters or DM closers their whole sales process. So you get accustomed to it, and all you need to do is do your job properly, which is set appointments and close deals. And there's actually 4 skills that you need to be good at if you want to be good at sales. It's prospecting, qualifying, negotiating, and closing. Now, after that, how do you actually become a DM closer? Firstly, you establish yourself as a person who is a DM closer on the internet. So you create profiles all around like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn with your name / DM closer or sell by chat closer or appointment setter, right? So now people would know that who you are actually. Now, next step is to show people your expertise, which is done through content mainly. So what you do is you start posting videos or graphic posts about sales. Now here, just like you understand the market for an Instagram theme page, you should understand what kind of person you actually want to close deals for. So let's say if it's a life coaching 30-day course, so what you do is you start posting content which is variable, but it actually solves problems for a potential life coach who sells a course about it, right? So now what happens next is when you start approaching these people, they will actually look at your profile and they'll see that this guy actually has expertise, and then it becomes easier to land an interview first and then get into their team. So find people who sell some kind of course, because majority of the online business community right now is in digital products or mentorships or online coaching. So you message them. Now here, because you want to work in their team, you actually have to make yourself valuable, right? So in that first message, start talking about some content they put out, right? So, hey X blank, which is an observation, and blank, which is a question about their service, so, right? So you ask them a couple questions about what kind of service do they offer. Is it a course? Is it a mentorship? How much it costs? And kind of understand their offer, because they will know that because you have a DM closer in your name, you are probably trying to land a position in their team. So how do you actually appeal to those people is you tell them that you are an appointment setter or a DM closer, and you are willing to set appointments for them for, let's say, 2 weeks for a very low commission, like 1 or 2-3%, or even for free for 14 days. And if you're able to give them a good amount of sales, they'll probably let you in. And this is usually how I have seen people land most of the interviews and jobs as a DM closer. I did that as well. On top of that, if you kind of want to increase your odds, you start giving out free value, right? So you make lead generation type of content for your profile, or let's say if you create a free PDF that will actually give something of value, and actually you have put some work behind that free PDF, and you just distribute that. Once people will see that this guy has a good amount of expertise and he or she can be really valuable to my team, they would generally want a good DM closer in their team. And that's when you start making that good money. पानी पी रहा हूँ, जब तक चुपचाप से सब्सक्राइब कर दो, क्योंकि इतनी मेहनत फालतू में नहीं करता हूँ वीडियोस पे मैं. So firstly, how do you find these people? You go to Facebook and you find Facebook groups, because every single topic known to man, there is a Facebook group about it with thousands of people in it, right? So there are two groups that you actually look out for. Firstly, the groups with your ideal clients, and second one is groups with sellers, right? People who are actually into sales. And the best Facebook group, which is free, that I've seen is the high ticket closing group by John Daly. So you can just find it and join that group. So what happens is, in the groups of business owners, you give out free value and you try to connect with people, and it will take you about a month to connect with a good amount of people and actually qualify them if they are a good fit for you. And in the groups about sales, people are usually putting out posts regarding gigs. So that's where you actually comment under the post that you're interested. You send them a DM that you're interested, and out of every 10 DMs, I would say about you will get responses to about 3 or 4 of them, and that's when you'll be able to land 3 or 4 interviews. Lastly, video call closer. It's kind of an extension of number 2, but it's way more difficult. It will reward you in higher income, higher amount of freedom in terms of your time, and it requires a way higher level of skill at sales. Now for these, you can earn about 10 to a 25% commission depending on your contract. And there are 2 types of video call closers. Firstly, the ones who actually close the deal, and secondly, the ones who just qualify, right? So for the business people that you work with, they will, if they are the ones closing the deals, then you are the guy taking that first call, qualifying their prospect, and then sending them to that second call. And if you are a person who qualifies for high ticket sales calls, it's usually for a very high amount. I'm talking about $5,000 to $10,000 and upwards of that a month, right? And if you are the one who actually closes the deal, the starting point is lower, but you have a way higher income potential, right? So it varies from about $1,000 to it can be of $10,000, $50,000 as well. So the thing here is it depends on the person that you're working with, their sales process, and the numbers that they actually want, and the numbers that they're actually feeding you. And there are like full scale positions as well, where you do the outbound, you qualify the person, you get them on a call and you close them, or you get them on a call and you qualify them and you get the deal closed by the business person that you work with. I would say the worst thing about this and DM closing, it's actually hearing a lot of no's, because it actually takes a toll on your mental health, because you'll be talking to hundreds of people and you'll be hearing hundreds of no's until you become like a top level salesperson. And with that, and because of that, you'll probably be discouraged as well. And on top of that, you won't have enough motivation or the will to continue, because sales is a very draining job. Now, since it's a numbers game, if you have enough willpower to improve and you actually put in the work, you get on a lot of sales calls, this can actually give you financial freedom, and I'm not kidding about it. So steps are the same to gain entry. Position yourself as a video call closer, spread your wings, look out on various social media platforms, enter these Facebook groups, these communities, and for this you can even create like profiles on Fiverr or Upwork, and yeah, that's how you land a position. Even though Fiverr and Upwork will probably have like a 2 to 5% chance maximum of landing any gig for you. Now remember, this is the most important part of the video. Do not sell anything which is a scam, a pyramid scheme, or anything that won't help the customer. Because at the end of the day, money won't give you peace. It's the fact that you're able to change a person's life forever. They won't be able to repay you, and you personally won't even know who that person is. And I'm telling you all of this because I want us to escape normality together.